London is beginning to open its doors to the rustic, bold and punchy flavours of Korean cuisine. The city is home not only to my own stall KORRITO, but to a number of growing restaurants, pop-ups and chefs experimenting with Korean flavours. Though they may be just a handful, their passion is overwhelming. At the forefront of this new and exciting food trend is Gizzi Erksine. With her K-Town pop-up events and her passion for kimchi and Korean fried chicken, she is helping to put Korean food on the UK map.
You know, people want to try different things, and now it's just an ingrained part of our culture.
But I think with the Korean street food movement, there's obviously 4 or 5 vendors now that have popped up on the scene. Yeah. I almost feel like that's kind of helping it become more accessible.
It's almost more accessible within the street food scene than it actually is in restaurants now, which I think is a great thing. It's a testament to what youth culture can do, I suppose. And the fact that now we have access to these ingredients and these recipes. I mean, the internet is a brilliant thing. You know, us young, well, I'm not that young anymore.
Me neither.
So, for example, what you do, that's so clever. It's like the food you were brought up on, but served in a modern way. You know, people are really, really thinking outside the box.
Gizzi has reaffirmed that taste buds are changing and Korean food is beginning to inspire the people of London. With its vibrant street food scene and electric youth culture, London is the perfect backdrop for Korean food.
People ask me what Korean food is to me.
How would you describe it?
I find it so hard because it's so dynamic.
Absolutely. Top 4 words to describe it.
Spicy, earthy, sweet. To know it can be quite sort of warming. Which is, but then that's not true because something like this is so light and heady. It's really, it has a lightness to it. But it has body.
It's punchy. A lot of people tend to say it's bold and punchy, but you're right, getting that balance right between those punchy flavours is what brings it together.
Totally.
For sure. What do you think the secret is to globalising Korean food?
So that's quite a tricky one. I mean, I think it's just more of what everyone's doing, I suppose. Korea is the thing that we are obviously seeing is going to be getting further and further and further out there because it's delicious. Ultimately, it's because it's delicious. But I just think people just need to continue discovering it and then developing it.
Someone who understands this wholeheartedly is Ackerman, a maestro of the food world who has witnessed the rise of international food over the course of his very long and successful career.
In London, we are a bit of a magnet for everyone. I mean, people used to joke and say, we have no cuisine of our own. Well, we do have a cuisine, and it's a very good one. But we've always been welcoming, perhaps because of our colonial past. Almost anything in London is available. And the fact that so many younger people are now starting to look at producing their own food and different food in street markets and in pop-up restaurants is fantastic.
Roy and I shared a bowl of bibimbap and he spoke of his love of London and foreign cuisine.
And I think I'd describe London as a big cauldron of food, really. I mean, there's not much you can't get if you really want to.
How do you think that the flavours of Korean food fits into London's current food scene?
I think it's right on. It's fantastic. I love it because there's a vibrancy about it, which is fun. And when I get, 25-year-olds saying to me, you've got to come and see this place because it's very different and you've never seen anything like it before, it's great. I mean, how fantastic. What more could you want?
Someone who couldn't agree more is Dan Su, Managing Director of Korea Foods Company, the largest distributor of Korean ingredients in Europe.
It positions itself nicely between Chinese and Japanese food, and I think that British people especially are looking for something new. And I think Korean food is so unique in the way that they ferment their food and the unique flavours, so it can be seen as something that a lot of people between the ages of 18 to 40, the Londonites, will really embrace.
Dan and Korea Foods Company are going beyond just supplying Korean ingredients, but bringing people together and encouraging collaboration to help promote Korean food.
Street food vendors are doing it from the grassroots level within London and the UK. I think that the quality of the food that you guys are making, in terms of making it relevant as well to the British palate, is absolutely crucial into making this big. Absolutely, you guys are you're the start of the globalisation of Korean food.
For Dan, there is a spiritual element to the work he is doing.
This is very much about trying to do it from the heart as a second generation Korean, but ultimately it gives me my sense of identity, being able to do something, I suppose, for Korean culture within the UK, in the country that I was born in, educated, and absolutely love living here. So this kind of makes sense to me. Food, the UK, Korea, it all makes sense, and that's why I put literally my heart and soul into what I do.
During my discussion with Dan, it occurred to me that those making the most impact on the Korean food scene in London are second generation Koreans and British chefs embracing creativity and innovation in their approach to traditional Korean food. I wanted to find out more about the innovative ways chefs are adapting Korean recipes, so I headed over to meet Neil Rankin, head chef and barbecue guru at the Smokehouse Islington. With real wood and charcoal smokers, Neil identifies with the Korean love of barbecue.
It's incorporating everything. It's all about sort of, flavours from everywhere in the world, and just sort of anything that's big, bold, and beautiful.
And for those of us that don't know too much about barbecue and the techniques involved, can you talk us a little bit about that?
It's all to do with sort of slow smoking stuff. I mean, some of our stuff smokes for up to about 14 hours, so some of it smokes overnight. But there's lots of angles on it. It's just a really good way of cooking meat, keeping its integrity when it comes out, and adding flavour, which it kind of is what, you know, Korean food is about as well.
Of course.
Neil is taking traditional elements of Korean food and making it his own. He showed me his version of kimchi.
Okay, so we've got 50 grams of soy sauce, dark soy sauce. We've got 50 grams of Korean red pepper powder, 50 grams of salted shrimp. We use anchovies in here. Again, 50 grams of anchovies. 50 grams of soft brown sugar. And then we've got this paste which we make in house. It's kind of like a starter paste. It's garlic and ginger, which I've got 100 grams of this. So that's 50 grams of each. Again.
Fabulous.
So it's kind of a basic recipe, and it's really nice and easy to follow at home, because if you have these ingredients, if you weigh them out the same and then blend it, it works. What we do is, in kitchens, is we pickle things in a vacuum packed bag. And it actually has exactly the same effect. So what's going to happen now is it's just going to, the flavour is going to penetrate, but yeah, we'll leave this in the fridge for about 5 days, and then it'll come up super nice. You don't have to do anything to it after that.
Neil understands and appreciates traditional Korean cuisine, but like me, he is excited about the future of Korean food.
I think there's absolutely a place for Korean food in London. I think it's just starting to take off, and then what happens then? The more people that get comfortable with it, they're going to start going to New Malden and start eating in there and start discovering what the traditional stuff's like, and then it's going to come. It'll work its way around. It'll be big. It'll be a big thing in London.
I began my journey to explore my heritage and my memories, but ultimately with a desire to share my love of Korean food with the world. KORRITO and other Korean vendors are representing Korea and helping to raise the profile of Korean food in the UK. We've only just scratched the surface on what is possible with Korean flavours and ingredients. Although our presence has just begun, we are here to be discovered.